We're fishing in the middle of the road. We are on Edgewater Avenue in College Park.
Do you normally fish on roads, or do you tend to go with, say, a river or a lake?
Whenever possible, I fish on roads, but...
There are people who pay good money for hair like that, and it's growing right out of your scalp.
Yep.
How do you keep it so good?
I'm about to make a lot of women around the world really upset.
What?
Florida's Fourth Estate with hosts Ginger Gadsden and Matt Austin. The show where we bring Florida into focus. Sponsored by Light Orlando, delivering hope together.
Sometimes on the news, we receive a viral moment. Usually, it's totally unintentional. And we had one of my favorite, 20 years of doing this broadcasting stuff, one of my favorite ever happened during a hurricane.
Yeah, Hurricane Milton. And if you weren't watching, boy, did you miss it. But guess what? We're going to show it to you again. Take a look at this.
Basically, after Milton, people get out and they start doing some things. I ran into these two guys who were fishing, but before we even talk to them, there's one problem. If Destiny zooms out a little bit, we're fishing in the middle of the road. We are on Edgewater Avenue in College Park. Dude, you got to fish. I saw you. You just caught that fish.
I did, right in the tree. Honestly, it's tradition now. Hurricane Ian, same exact thing happened.
Because this road floods all the time. And we were down here when Ian flooded. Trooper Steve came down here. So you basically, and there's a guy coming behind us in a lawnmower, isn't there?
You know?
That's America right there. That's America if I've ever seen it.
So we've got people fishing in the road. We've got a guy on a lawnmower. You doing all right? He's doing all right, yeah. So we've got people fishing in the middle of the road, a guy on a lawnmower in the middle of the road. And so, like you said, this floods all the time when we get big storms. Did it flood for Helene also?
Oh, we didn't see it flood for Helene, but the first time we saw it start to flood was after they built the packing district. I don't remember it ever flooding here, and I've lived here my whole life. We make the best of it. Obviously, we come out here and fish after the storms, and it's great, but it's not fun for the people whose stuff gets ruined at all.
And again, you said this is a tradition. Have you ever caught a fish before?
Have we ever caught a fish before?
Yeah.
Look at us, come on. Have you ever caught a fish before?
Yeah.
All right, good.
But-
That's kind of a disrespectful question to ask.
You know, normally we would just keep going on and on and on, but I think I'm good on this one. Yes, that is the entire thing. Getting results in College Park in the middle of the street. Fishing, Donovan Myrie, News 6.
Okay, there's so much to break down from that video, from the random lawnmower to the great head of hair right in the middle of it.
So much to unpack, and guess what? We're going to unpack it all right here on Florida's Fourth Estate. The man, the myth, the legend. Jake Hutcheson joins us live here. It won't be live when you see it, though. But honestly, I'm so excited to meet you. You are a delight. Thank you for being here, Jake.
Thank you guys for having me. I'm so excited to be here as well.
Okay, so for people who don't know your backstory, that moment right there pretty much sums up your entire life. If you're looking at, I scraped your social media. I was like, this
Ginger's
guy.
been creeping on you.
I'm like, he is incredible. You love to fish. Tell me a little bit about what drew you to that initially, because you're so much more than that.
I don't know what drew me to it initially. One of my first memories, though, is like my mom was at a photo shoot. She was a photographer, and I was fishing in the people's backyard, and I never stopped. We grew up fishing every single day, before school, after school, night, like all the time. That's all we did is fish growing up. And College Park in Orlando is a great place to do it.
It is. So you live in that area. Do you normally fish on roads, or do you tend to go with, say, a river or a lake?
Whenever possible, I fish on roads, but it's usually not available to me, so I'm usually at a lake, a river, or a beach.
Yeah, exactly. And you loved it so much. I love the story of how you said you were going to these different tournaments and your mom's like, okay, you got to start making some money, kid, because these aren't free. What happened?
Yeah, I was fishing tournaments, this organization called TSA, where they basically take kids who love to fish but don't have a boat, and they pair them up with boat captains to be able to fish tournaments. And it costs money, and they're like, you're going to have to start coughing up some money for this. So I started hustling pretty much, just doing odd jobs around the neighborhood and making money however I could.
Yeah, I love the fact that on, like a bullet point of your resume, it's like, okay, did you work at Publix ever? Did you? No, you wanted to,
Never.
but they didn't pay enough money, I think, at the time.
Right around that time, my mom was like, "You can go get a job, just go make some money." I'm like, "How much do these people pay?" And she's like, $6.48 an hour
No,
after
that's
tax.
not going to do it.
No,
No,
way.
no. Okay,
That's
so
absurd.
you went on the
That won't even cover his
you went on the
shampoo.
neighborhood apps. You chopped wood. You sold mistletoe.
I did.
And then I looked. It's like all these things that you've done, and on one of the bullet points is grew a mullet. Oh.
One of the best business decisions I've ever made in my life.
Explain.
Explain your mullet
And that sounds
decision.
crazy to guys.
That does sound crazy,
To
yes.
people, to most people, it sounds crazy because you're like, "Get a job, kid. Cut your hair." But
Yes.
I was like, "No, I'm gonna grow my hair, and then I'm gonna use that to get a job." And I did. It was like,
How's that work?
well, right during COVID, the mullet was kind of just blossoming, and
Literally.
it was. Yes, literally for me. And I had a little shop making my own fishing rods and doing repairs around town, and I was tired of being locked in the shop by myself. I wanted to also blossom like my hair, and I wanted to be around people and make videos, and I knew I could. So I pitched my supplier on me doing TikTok for them, and I had a mullet, and it was kind of unique at the time, but they called me and they gave me a job, and then having that mullet on camera with my personality and then just the uniqueness of building fishing rods on camera just
It's
blew
memorable.
everything up. It is very memorable, yes.
So you're on social media. You're a social media guy for this fishing rod company.
Yes.
But you've never had anything get 11 million views before, like you did when you caught this fish and then our news crew showed up. Is this your biggest hit ever?
I don't know. We've had some pretty big stuff, but this might be the biggest. It's definitely tied with a couple if it's not.
Really? So you've had some
Yeah.
other ones that have gone crazy.
Yeah, we've done well in the past.
Yeah, and the fishing company, the company that builds the rod that you work for is Mudhole.
Yes,
right?
Mudhole,
And
yep.
you sort of manifested that job for yourself.
Totally.
Tell me about that.
Yeah, I had some intuition. Well, I wanted to do it for a while. I thought about it, and I a lot of late nights just thinking like, all right, I really think I can do social media for a company. I started a few pages for myself and for other businesses, and they did well. And I was like, I think I can do this big time, and I'm going to try. I can build fishing rods for the rest of my life, but social media and this hair is a young man's game. I was like, why wait? Let's do it. And
How much have you been able to grow their social media since you've jumped on?
the TikTok, I did 0 to 100,000 followers in like 13 months.
Wow.
And this was cool. I made their social media accounts before I had the job because I knew I was going to get it.
That's the
I'm doing this.
manifestation.
Whoa.
Yeah. I
That's
created
crazy.
the accounts. I was like, this is going to happen.
You're what, 24,
Yes.
right? Okay, as a young guy, you're just incredible to me because honestly, I find it very refreshing because you love going out there. You put yourself out there, and I called you off camera, and I think you said it was okay if I called you that. You're like a Forrest Gump kind of guy because
What a
you're-
great compliment.
I like it. I know what you mean.
Thank you. You meet random people. You're not afraid to put yourself out there. You'll see something happen. You will insert yourself into whatever is happening.
Oh, yeah.
Where does that come from? How does that feel when you do it?
Oh, it feels incredible. I mean, I get into the most wild situations that have never happened in the world, like monthly. It's just craziness. It comes from my mom and dad, though. My mom's great. She talked to everybody. She has a famous story of like standing in line at Starbucks and hearing a woman from India's whole entire life story and how she had just came to America and was raising a daughter with nothing. And she started bringing her Indian food weekly after that. And just, I grew up with that. My dad's great. He talks to everybody. He knows everybody. Both my parents are very smart and very personable and will talk to anybody. And I just soaked up all that, and I'm just their child.
Wow. That is,
my gosh.
that's a cool aspect. And I feel like with social media and everybody on their phones these days, that conversation and meeting random folks that I personally love. I remember when I'd go to Publix or something, my dad would always talk up the person at the cashier. Everybody else is just nowadays, but it's just something that's missing
and
from
most people
society.
who are your age don't like to hold conversations with people. And I've just seen you out there in action, and people light up when you approach them. I mean, that's a gift. It is a gift, and you're using it for good. You also...
You are sounding really creepy. And when you were 7...
No, what I like is that you also take good care of your mental health because you do this 11-minute breathing thing that you talk about on camera. And I just feel like you are so aware of who you are and where you are at any moment. But that has to be overwhelming. But you also have that under control. Can you talk to people who might be anxious about things, and not sure of what's going to happen next.
Yeah, you don't have to be sure. You just have to believe in what you're doing is going to work, and then you don't think about anything else. It's going to work, so you do it. And there's no reason to think about the other stuff. I was blessed that for some reason, I don't overthink the what ifs and the negatives. I'm tunnel vision towards what will happen.
Yeah.
Because it will. And I just stumbled upon that. I was born with it, I think. But yeah, I don't know. I just try a lot of things, and I don't think about if they'll go wrong. If I'm doing it, I know it's going to work.
And you made it happen in the case of your job. So take me to the day in which you're fishing on a road. What made you do that in the first place? Take us through the whole situation.
So it started 2 years ago during Hurricane Ian, I think, and Edgewater Drive flooded for the first time. I've never seen that happen, and I've lived in Orlando my whole life. And we went and fished around everywhere because usually when there's moving water and water in new places, it's a great time to fish. And we caught like a bunch of fish in the road that day. My friend caught a 6-pounder. It was nuts. And we got like a whole crazy YouTube video of it. And I was just going to stay inside the day after the hurricane. I was going to read some books and just relax because I was tired. But my dad called me and he was like, "Hey, Jake, I'm on the way somewhere. Edgewater's flooded." So you knew what happened.
Now you're jacked.
I perked up and I was like, "Phil, Edgewater's flooded." He
Now
called
you've got
me
a
right
plan.
away.
Yeah.
He called me. He's like, "When are we going?"
And he caught that was a chunky fish that he caught on camera.
It was.
How many pounds do you think that thing was?
It was probably, I say a 4-pounder, but it was a 3.5 conservatively.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so why is it, because I like to fish too, why is it that situation, you say it's the moving water? I thought fish kind of like to stay in their own little zone normally, but when it floods, what is it? Give me a little fish psychology here. Why do they want to get out on a road?
I don't know the psychology, but I know the Scientology. Science, not Scientology.
We're getting Scientology.
Whoa.
All right, Tom
Different
Cruise.
podcast.
With those floods, like rain has to happen for a flood to happen, and when the big storm comes, the barometric pressure drops a lot, I think, or rises, one of the two. But some weather stuff happens. You guys would know better.
Yeah, the pressure
Yeah, it
drops.
does.
Yeah,
It
you're right.
definitely
You're right.
does.
Pressure
Yeah.
drops, and that makes fish go insane. Like the craziest you've ever seen. They're doing backflips out of the water, eating bait fish, and
So
it's just
that's
nuts.
how they end up on
They're
the road.
hungry.
Yeah.
They're looking
Okay.
for fish anywhere.
I have a silly question, and forgive me, but you've had some silly questions before. We'll address that a little bit later.
Gosh.
But do you eat those? Do you throw them back in? Do you keep them?
Definitely throw those back. I wouldn't eat
Okay.
anything from like.
I don't know.
You can't eat fish from a Florida pond if
I
you're doing
don't
that. And you wouldn't really eat a bass anyway.
Well, maybe some
Not around
people
here,
don't
but some
know.
people do. A lot of people do around the South, yeah.
What,
We
they
don't
fry
here.
them or something?
Yeah.
I grew up.
Fry
I'm from
anything.
South Carolina.
guess.
If you fry something, you flour it and fry it. It's
I'm actually going to a cookout soon. I'm bringing them a fresh snook, and they're cooking for me raccoon and turtle.
what?
Yeah.
Where is this cookout?
I don't
Is it
wanna
in
get
this?
into
No, is it in this state?
It is. It's right here in Rosemont.
Oh my God!
It's here
Okay.
at News 6, actually.
We're
Surprise!
bringing leftovers.
Okay, so you're in the middle of the road with your friend. What's your friend's name?
Phil Diaz.
Phil. Okay, so you and Phil, you're fishing. I love the part where you guys see the News 6 crew in the distance, and like a good fisherman, you like throw it out there. You're like, we're gonna get these guys.
Yep.
And sure enough, you knew. When was the moment you knew? Okay, something is gonna happen with these guys soon.
Well, we walked up right to the spot we had caught a big fish in the last year, and Phil made a cast, and he was like, "Oh God!" And he set the hook on one, and I was like, and then right when he reeled it in and got it up, I was like, Donovan's walking towards, I didn't know his name was Donovan then, but Donovan Meyer, the news anchor, was walking towards us, and we're walking towards him. We're about to make a dang magic scene happen.
And so you pieced it together perfectly. You use your video, you use some of our video
Yep.
to show you on the news. And then this guy on a freaking lawnmower starts
Just
riding through the
rides right
middle of the
through
road.
the conversation.
What's going
Yep.
through your head at
Actually,
that point?
absolutely nothing. That was so normal to me. I was just like,
So
hey.
normal.
And it was only after the video came out that I was like, oh my gosh, what in
is
the world?
going
He just
on?
ran through rode through on a lawnmower. But like you said, my life's pretty wild, and that's not that crazy. But watching it back, I'm like, yeah, that's pretty wild.
Yeah, that's pretty
that
wild.
happened.
And the guy just never spoke. He
No,
just
his-
went.
His whole disposition was like,
I'm gonna get this lawnmower through this news crew
Got
and this
somewhat of
guy
me.
fishing.
Yeah.
Exactly. I don't know what he's mowing because everything was flooded at the time.
He didn't
but
either.
I think it was his mode of transportation. And then, so you put it all together. When did you realize, oh gosh, this is turning into something?
I knew pretty quick because I posted it. I couldn't get signal, so because it was right after the hurricane and it was still signal was spotty. So I drove to Publix and went inside, bought some stuff, came back out, and it was like just notifications going crazy. And I was like, boys, we made it.
you hit it.
Yeah.
You hit it. As a social media guy, you had to be super.
was like,
as this was
it
all
worked.
coming together, as the whole story is there, you catch a fish right by the news crew. You have to be thinking, oh my God, this is it.
This is gold.
I had a very I don't know what to call it. I had a feeling like this is the one. Intuition. There you go. And well, I thought the news clip was going to blow up. So first I posted the news clip, and everybody I know saw it. But then I was like, I think I should post a lead up to it because I took a video on my iPhone, and that's the one that went viral. The news clip didn't go viral, but the one that like us catching the fish, and then I put the news clip edited in the back of it. That's the one that went viral, and I didn't even expect that. But
Yeah.
when you just do things that you don't,
It's anybody
it just
else
happens.
watching in the world, they're like, this is nuts. First of all, the hurricane just went through. These guys are in the middle of a street, a residential area, and there's a bass that this guy has hooked. It was just pure joy to watch. One of my favorite moments was the interaction between you and the reporter who was asking you the questions, and your answer. I think he asked you, have you...
ever caught a fish?
You ever caught a fish before? Which was not the right question, but
And she can say that because the reporter's her husband.
No, we don't want to reveal that. Let's cut this part out. But your answer was the thing that really drew me in. That's a disrespectful question, and I said. It absolutely was.
You're on my side now.
Yeah, I was.
As he asked it, I'm like, no, you can't ask this guy if he's
guys
ever
are
caught a
good.
fish.
I mean, you were wearing the gear. You had everything. You looked the part.
In the hair of a fisherman.
I think just being there in the road after a hurricane fishing should tell you enough. But don't rag on him too much. He's a real nice guy.
I know. It's fine. But we appreciate you being such a good sport about that. But that moment, it just was such a delight for us to show to people because all we had seen was devastation and destruction. And, you know, you're from this area. You know you've seen things come through before. What was it like knowing that you were able to provide that sort of levity for a lot of people?
I don't know. We didn't think about it that much. We were just going to have fun, and I think it just kind of happened. And then reading some of the comments afterwards, you kind of tell like, oh, this is really cool. People are liking this. Some people didn't really know what to do with the information.
Yeah.
A lot of people liked it, and it was pretty cool.
Many people
What
like it.
kind of response did you have, people reaching out to you after this? Anytime something gets this kind of viral moment, did you have news organizations, did you have articles written about this aside from ours? Like, tell us who reached out to you.
We had a lot of social media companies wanting to like license or buy the footage, and we didn't sell.
Don't do that. Don't you do that.
I called some of my friends, and I was like, who are these guys? And he was like, the devil.
Scammers.
The
Yes.
devil.
Yes. They are.
Friends. Good friends.
Yeah, you
Good
did.
friends.
That's good advice.
Yeah.
So your signature, now I would know you in a crowded room, a sea of people, I would be able to pick you out because of your hair. Mm-hmm. It's beautiful,
Thank you.
Jake. There are people who pay good money for hair like that, and it's growing right out of your scalp.
Yep.
How do you keep it so good?
I'm about to make a lot of women around the world really upset.
What? Are you cutting it?
No.
Oh,
no,
what?
no.
I don't know.
Let the man talk.
Okay, sorry.
I don't do anything. I wake up, I take a shower, put some shampoo in, wash it out. put
Just
some
shake it out like a
conditioner in,
Labrador.
Wash it out, shake it out.
That door
Dry
you
it off
came in,
in a towel.
that's where you're going right now, sir.
Walk out.
You're okay. No, you don't.
I promise.
You've got waves and curls, Jake.
He's got highlights,
natural.
natural highlights in that thing.
Yep. Everything. It's all natural.
Okay, I'm gonna just move on from that. You're right. You did make a lot of women, including myself, a little upset.
I tried to warn you.
But no. I also know that when you are on social media and you're as popular as you are, you get a lot of feedback not necessarily the kind you want. A guy told you, you read this awful message.
Some good
guy.
trolls?
Yeah, oh, good. He was like, the spelling on it was my favorite part too, but he was like, you know, you need to get a haircut and all this other stuff. And then you show up on camera, and I was like, what have you done to yourself?
Yeah.
What was that comment about?
Well, that was actually from my social media at my job, Mudhole, and a lot of people like the hair. There's some people who don't, and our audience tends to be like older white dudes, and a couple of them don't get down like this. Good
A couple of them.
And
They're like, you hippie.
Yeah, one of them wanted to make it known, and he was like, you don't cut your hair, I'm gonna stop shopping with y'all. And he was mad, so I was like, all right, I'm gonna make a video out of this. I'm gonna capitalize on it. And I made a video reading it, and then I was like, it really got to me. And I put a bald cap on, and I was like, I cut my hair. Something like that. But I tell people I cut my hair about every 6 months just to keep them on their toes. I'll do like a bald filter on Snapchat and just post it. Just want to keep people, you know.
That's smart. He does what we do. We get hate mail all the time, and so we read it aloud. It's
It is a joy to get it.
cathartic.
Yeah.
And stuff, people get mad at my hair. Sometimes it's a little too high. I had a lady in my email the other day. Sometimes my suits are too tight.
Don't listen to him. You look beautiful.
Thanks, buddy.
What?
I appreciate that.
Beautiful?
Give it to him. Come on, it does.
Give me my flowers, Ginger. Ginger has a hard time receiving and giving compliments.
tell.
No, I know. Wait, I'm on your side, dude.
I'm kidding.
Don't get on the wrong side of the law here, buddy.
This took a turn.
Dude, I think you're wonderful. I don't think you're anything like Forrest Gump. Your hair's
Oh my gosh.
amazing.
You're amazing.
And I'm so glad that we had a viral moment between you and our newscasts. And I think you're going to be a successful dude. And the next time you're fishing on Edgewater, I want to get my fly rod out there.
Oh my gosh.
I'll call you.
All right, sounds good.
Listen,
giving you my digits.
I'm going to give my closing statements now. I would like to say, Jake, thank you for being a light in the world, because you really are. There have been a few times since Hurricane Milton I've not felt the best. And I go on your social media, and I really just laugh and smile. The blue toilet, if you haven't seen it, just go find his stuff.
I don't know what that
follow
means.
him. What's your social media handle so people can follow you?
My Instagram is hutch.jake. My TikTok is jake.hutcheson. And I post videos every day at 9 a.m. Florida time.
Ah, all right. Nice.
Jake, it's so
Good
nice
stuff.
to see you.
Thanks
you
for coming
being
in,
here.
man.
Thank you guys for
Long
having me.
trip
Yeah.
from College Park.
It was tough.
It's tough. All right.
pleasure.
Thanks, Jake.
Awesome.
Oh my gosh.
Thanks, dude. That was great.
That was
awesome.
amazing. Oh my God, that was so much fun. Thank you for doing that. Okay, so we promised you we would ask Jake the proper question, not a disrespectful question. So the person who asked that question was Donovan Myrie. He joins us now in studio. Donovan, what would you like to ask Jake?
Make up for yourself, Donovan.
You know, when I asked him the question should have been, have you ever caught a fish here on
On the street.
Boom.
Somehow it didn't come out that way. You said this is a tradition. Have you ever caught a fish before?
Have we ever caught a fish before?
Yeah.
Look at us. Come on.
And rather than correct him, I just let it go because his answer was even better than I think what the real answer would have been. Jake, have you ever caught a fish here on Edgewater?
Yes, I have. 2 years.
That would have been a great
What a
answer.
respectful question.
Thank you for not disrespecting our guest.
The disrespectful was so much better. By the way, I just have one thing to say. One of the things you didn't hear in the interview was why Jake thought Edgewater had flooded, because we ended up cutting it out for time when we aired the segment. So Jake, why does Edgewater flood? Because you have a very interesting answer, and it's not a fluff answer at all.
No, and I want to be clear on this. I don't have any data behind this, and I haven't looked into it yet. I'm planning on it, but I had never seen Edgewater or anywhere in College Park, for that matter, flood until the packing district was put up, where they cut down a ginormous forest and wetland and put concrete and stuff.
Oh, Jake,
and
that's
buildings.
the story of Central Florida right now.
Really?
Yeah, that's happening everywhere. These different subdivisions.
Developments come in,
Yeah.
water has to go somewhere else.
Yeah, ends up in your house.
Established communities
Yeah.
have to deal with it.
Correct.
I've been reading a lot of Carl Hyacinth, so that one, when I figured that out, I'm like, oh, I don't like this.
Oh,
yeah,
man.
yeah. Have you watched Bad Monkey?
Bad
I
Monkey.
just watched it.
Oh, it's good,
it's so
right?
good.
Really good.
Yeah.
But
Hit me.
the first scene had like 4 misinformation pieces about fishing.
Oh.
Like, I want to be the guy on movie sets who's like, no, you can't use that reel
You want to
here.
be the consultant?
Yes, I want to be a fishing consultant for any network, TV show, broadcast, news, everywhere, because this is a Keys show written by Carl Hutcheson, like the most famous Florida
He's
fisherman
amazing, yeah.
from the Miami Herald, and you're going to get things wrong about fishing in the first scene. You could pay me a lot of money and just have me come and make that right, because you're going to immediately turn off viewers, and those first 5 seconds or those first couple minutes are so important.
The real ones will know.
Yeah.
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 Oh, my
I'd
gosh.
love to help you guys.
Carl, if you're out there, he's an avid watcher of this show. All right, thanks, man. That was great.
That was good. Oh, my God.